Hello, everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit about the post that I wrote today on my blog called If You're Still Searching for Mr. or Mrs. Right. Now, a little bit about my background. I am married, but I tried to think back to before I was married when I was still single, and that was probably about 5 years ago, so it was kind of hard to go back. But I think it's only fair if you're going to talk about an issue like this to go back to when you were single. So when I wrote the blog post, that's what I did. And a little bit about my background. My husband and I, before we ever spoke, we actually knew each other for a whole year. For whatever reason, he didn't notice me, and I didn't really want to talk to him. This is a little bit of my bias coming out, but he was in the Navy, and I had these ideas about military guys. So I didn't want to talk to him, but we were in the same Bible study the summer that I came back from college. And we sat beside each other on the couch and everything, and we never spoke. Um, but when I came back the next summer, I saw this guy at a wedding, and I liked what I saw. And he liked what he saw. So, to make a long story short, the bride set us up. She had us over to her house for a spaghetti dinner. The rest is history. After about 2 weeks of dating, we knew that we were the ones for each other. Okay? 3 months later, we were engaged, and 5 months after that, we were married. So it was like a whirlwind. It all happened really quickly. Okay, so that's a little bit of my background. But if I jump back to when I was still single, the first point that I wanted to share with you guys, and this has to do if you're still searching for Mr. and Mrs. Right. Okay? If you're single, do God's will and stay busy. I know that a lot of my single friends, they complain about this. They say that they hate hearing, oh, if you're still single, that just means that God's working on you. Or they hear things like, oh, well, there must be something in you that's not right. That's why you're single. And this whole idea that being single is a curse or being single is a disease. It's not. It's not a curse. It's not a disease. But if you are feeling these feelings of, I wish I wasn't single. I wish I was married. You know what? We all go through times where we wish we had certain things. And, I'm still married, and there's things that I still wish I had. So when I start to get those feelings, because you might look and say, oh, she's married, she has kids, she can't relate. I've been single before. And even when you're married and you have kids, there's still things that you want. There's still, some of you guys who are single, there's things that you guys have that I probably would still want. But when I start to think about, all that God's done for me, and I stay busy, I stay busy volunteering and doing God's work and helping other people and serving, that starts to take my mind off of what I don't have or what I wish I had. So I can't just say to you guys, any of you guys that are single, it would be wrong for me to say, well, you just have to keep trusting God and you just have to believe, because if you keep believing, He'll send that person. Because you might have been waiting for 30 years. You might have been waiting for a long time. So I can't play God. I can't necessarily tell you that. But what I can say is stay busy. Stay on God's path and stay doing what you know He wants for you to do. Um, when I was single, I loved it. I loved it for the most part. I could go out, I could do what I want, I didn't have to check in with anyone. And not that checking in is a bad thing, I don't mind that now that I'm married. But every now and then there would be times like Christmas Day with my family, I would just start to feel sad and I would think, I'm with my family, it's Christmas Day, I've got my mom, my dad, my brother, but I just wish I was with my own family, if you know what I mean, my significant other. Um, there was a time when I was working at a kid's gym, and I said to my coworker, "Man, all these moms are coming in with their kids. They've got two kids, and they're younger than us. When is my time gonna come? Am I gonna be just this old haggard lady, with kids? When am I gonna get to have kids? When am I gonna get to be a mom?" And about maybe a year and a half later, I was married, had my first child, had another on the way. So it's just funny how life works. But just realize that if you are sad, that's okay. Those feelings do come from time to time. So that's okay. Try not to sit in it and allow yourself to become bitter and depressed. But it's okay to have those feelings. We're all human. The next thing I wanted to share with you guys is don't let your past baggage creep into your future relationships. Deal with it now. So I know that a lot of us, including myself, you've probably been hurt, from people and past relationships. And it's so easy to take that into our future relationships. If you remember the movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman, the main character, she was mad at her boyfriend for whatever he did, and she just let it all out. And he said something along the lines of, I'm not your ex-husband. Stop treating me like him. He hurt you, but I'm not him. Okay, so we have to remember, sometimes we may not even understand it, we may not realize it, but that baggage from those past relationships can come into our future relationships. So try and deal with those, whether it's through prayer, talking it out with a close friend, or getting counseling. If that's something that you need to do, get counseling. Like I say in the blog, a lot of us get counseling. It's almost like a dirty little secret. You don't want to admit it. People might think you're crazy, but it's a good thing. If you need counseling, if you need to work your feelings out, talk to someone. It's a safe place. Get that help that you need, because a good relationship it takes two people who are whole. Okay, and if you're still broken, if you're still dealing with something, the best thing you can do, even if you're single, for that future relationship is to deal with it, because it's gonna find a way into that new relationship. And even once you get married, that doesn't mean that you don't have issues anymore. Okay, just because you get married and you think all of a sudden, oh my gosh, everything's supposed to be perfect, we have these issues, get counseling. It's okay. Okay, the last point that I wanted you guys to focus on, that you'll find in the blog, is that well, I mentioned this before, but I'll just mention it again really quickly. There will always be things you want, but you don't have. Okay? Focus on being busy and doing God's work. Alright, so maybe you're thinking, I just wish I had a husband. I just want that so bad. God, please give me that husband. Or God, please give me that wife. You know what? Ask. Yes, the Bible does say ask and you shall receive. But in the meantime, stay busy. Because if any of us just all day just focus on what we don't have, it's going to bring you down. Okay? So just try to stay busy. I know when I was single, I was out there all the time. All right? Socially, very active. The Bible tells us, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Okay? So ladies, get out there so he can find you. Okay? He's not going to find you just sitting in your apartment. Get out there. You're beautiful. Get involved with life. Guys, get out there. You find her. And like I told a single friend, if I was still single, I'd be on eHarmony, I'd be on Christian Mingle, I would be on all those websites, okay? There's nothing wrong with it, okay? If you want more on this, I blogged about this today, and it's called If You're Still Searching for Mr. or Mrs. Right, okay? If you want to visit my blog, it's L Holmes, Holmes with an L, 79.wordpress.com. All right, and as always, you be blessed.